Hello everybody, John12 back here again with another video, and today I bring you once again another top 5. Last week I gave you my top 5 Halloween movies in the Halloween franchise, and I did state in that video that I was kind of a lost for words when it came to my top 5s lately because I didn't really know which way to go. I could have gone top 5, horror movies, top 5 whatever, but I don't know, I've just decided why not just continue with this one-offs with just straight up top 5s within the Halloween franchise. Fuck it. Who's it hurting? It's not hurting anybody, so why not just do it? Anyways, today, if you have not noticed, if you looked up in the title, of course, today I'm doing my top 5 Halloween characters. Now, this one was kind of difficult because, like majority of characters that are in horror franchises are usually one-offs, or they're very exaggerated, or they're done badly, or they're just bait. Rare. Basically they're bait. They're just character one-offs used for the killers to kill them. So it's kind of hard to pick and choose your favorite characters out of the list, but I do have characters that I personally really loved when I was growing up with the Halloween franchise. So of course it's subjective. In the comment section below, let me know what you personally think, and who are your favorite characters, and who are your favorite actors who portrayed the characters from the Halloween franchise. So let's get right started into this. Coming up in number 5 has to go to the character of Tommy Doyle, who is played by two actors, Brian Andrews and of course the man himself, Paul Rudd. And I find it funny that they actually use this character more than once, because he's kind of a one-off in a sense, but at the same time I find it also funny that it was the first role or first character role that Paul Rudd ever played. It's kind of funny thinking about it. It's like the guy who's playing Ant-Man right now is used to be in a Halloween movie. That's kind of crazy if you think about it, and kind of funny and cool. So I don't know. That's what I personally think. But I always liked the character Tommy Doyle. Ever since I watched the original film, I always felt like I was Tommy from the movie. I felt like I was just a kid who was consistently scared of everything, and who was bullied all the time, and who was scared of the boogeyman, and I was kind of like that. Like, that was essentially me when I was a little kid watching these movies, and I don't know, I always connected with the character. And I thought it was pretty interesting and cool that they brought the character back in further movies, So I don't know, and I personally like both actors who played him, obviously. So I don't know, I love the character of Tommy Doyle. Moving off of that, going to number 4 has to go to Linda, PJ Souls, people. Yes, I know, once again, it's another one-off character, bait, if you will, as I like to call them. And generally, I don't really care for characters who are just like the cliche women who get killed for basically just being slutty and naked throughout the film. But this is kind of like before that happened, that she was like the start of that like genre of actresses who just were chicks who flashed their breasts on camera and then got killed by the killer 5 seconds later. She was like the first one to ever do it. And plus, when you're a kid and you grow up with horror movies, and you specifically watch Halloween, which is like a rite of passage for any horror fan, that sequence of PJ Souls saying the line and doing what she does in front of Michael in the sheet is just iconic in and of itself, and I love it. It's fucking awesome. And plus, I don't know, I like the character throughout the whole time, because when you watch the original movie, she's the number one character in the entire movie that has the most character. She's an super explosion of awesomeness and exaggeration and just funny whips and nonsense. And I don't know, it kind of felt awesome to have like that trio of characters. You have like, the smart, freaking cute virgin girl, and then you have the really crazy hot chick, and then you have the fucking super gorgeous, slutty dumb chick. Just, it is what it is. I don't know, I just like that shit. Anyways, moving off of that, going to number 3 has to go to Jamie Lloyd, played by, of course, Danielle Harris. Once again, I stated this in my previous top 5 about Halloween. I always thought of Danielle Harris as like the promised child to the horror franchise, because if it wasn't for her character, we would have nothing really interesting to view or to watch in this series, because post Halloween 2, of course. Jamie Lee Curtis was, of course, not going to be in the scene. She was obviously going off to do her own thing. So you had to have a new character that was going to be just as good or better. And I think Danielle Harris did a good job at what she did. And plus, she acts her ass off. I know she's just a little kid. You can't really say those type of things, you know. When it comes, it's a weird thing when you're like reviewing child actors, but she fucking kills it. When you rewatch Return of Michael Myers or even Revenge of Michael Myers, it's really fucking crazy to see the type of shit you have to go through when as a child actor in those type of movies. Especially when I like to consider Halloween 4 like one of the more violent movies in the Halloween franchise, with the exception of the obvious the Rob Zombie movies. It's fucking crazy. And I personally like the character. I like how alone she is. I like how scared she is of everything, but she wants to really do something with herself. And she has this past, and she's apparently Laurie's daughter, and there's a whole bunch of crazy nonsense going around. And I like that type of shit. I like the movie, and I like her character, so that's just me personally. But moving off of that, going into my second favorite character of all time, has to go to Laurie Strode, of course, played by Jamie Lee Curtis. Hands down, the greatest character in all of, one of the greatest leading actresses characters of all of horror, you know, just hands down. It goes to Laurie Strode, Jamie Lee Curtis. When you think of horror movies, when you think of Halloween, that's the second thing you think of. And I don't know, I grew up with Halloween and Laurie Strode, Jamie Lee Curtis. Every time I see Jamie Lee Curtis, even today, if I see Jamie Lee Curtis doing anything, whether it be a fucking TV show, a cartoon, a fucking commercial, a fucking new movie, comedy, whatever the fuck, I think Halloween. That's the number one thing I think of. And I just grew up with that shit, so, you know, it's one of my favorite characters. Nevertheless, I'm gonna like skip the honorable mentions right now because like there's obviously tons of characters and most of them, as I stated, are just one-offs or just bait. And I don't know, I just really don't want to go through the entire list again, just thinking like, oh, okay, who did I really like? Of course, I like the chicks, and then you like, you know, that one guy who's kind of funny who got killed, blah blah blah. You're just rehashing characters. Nevertheless, let's move off the honorable mentions and go to my number one pick, which is Donald Pleasance, Dr. Samuel Loomis. Fucking unbelievable character. Now, I know you guys are wondering, it's like, what about Michael Myers? Shouldn't he be on the list of, like, all favorite characters of all time in the Halloween franchise? Well, basically, guys, I'm not really including Michael Myers because, you know, it's kind of pointless. I mean, like, of course everybody watches a Halloween movie to specifically see Michael Myers. So it's kind of pointless to put him on the list. You know, I already do like him. You know, obviously I love the horror franchise. I love the Halloween franchise. So of course I love Michael Myers as a character. So decide not to do that. Put it on the list. It would just be kind of a waste of time because of course he would be number one. But besides him, Dr. Samuel Loomis. I grew up with Donald Pleasance. He's a badass actor. He was like one of the best of his time. The character of Sam Loomis is just badass. Every single line that Donald Pleasance has in the movie, or in every single movie, is iconic. It's epic. When he says something in the movie, it's epic. And coming from a movie of like that standard back in the day, that's saying a lot. And I personally, you know, just love the character. And I feel bad that, you know, you have to continue, like we have to just like continue watching these movies and like know in the end, he's not going to be in the next movie. And that fucking sucks for me personally. Because I love the character. I love Donald Pleasance. He was awesome. And it sucks that he's not going to be, you know, here anymore to do more movies. But nevertheless, the first movie, when you watch it, the first thing that you think of, besides how scary it is or whatever the fuck, is, God, this guy's a badass. He fucking has awesome, epic lines. And he's, like, crazy in the sense that he's so obsessed with his patient, Michael Myers. It's fucking awesome. But nevertheless, that pretty much sums up my entire top 5 Halloween characters, excluding Michael Myers, of course. In the comment section below, let me know your personal list. I know this is coming kind of short, but I'm recording this kind of late in the day, so I'm kind of tired and exhausted, and I don't really want to ramble and talk for like half an hour, basically, so I hope you guys are okay with a short top 5, but nevertheless, let me know what yours is. Next week, I'm going to be let's see. Let's just check the calendar real quick. Next week, I guess I'll be ending it with my top 5 Halloween deaths. Yes, my death scenes or kills or whatever. I kind of did the same thing with Friday 13th, so now I'm doing the same thing with Halloween. So on the week of Halloween, I'll be doing my top 5 death scenes, so I hope you guys look forward to that. Also, go back to my channel, check out all the Halloween stuff I'll be doing. I really have nothing really big planned for videos for Halloween itself, but if I do, just I'm one click away so you guys can see what the heck's going on. But nevertheless, I will be reviewing tons of other stuff, so you can guys look forward to that. Subscribe to my channel if you've not done so already, and I hope everybody enjoyed, and this has been John 12.